Nick Daffy wears number 10 and he wears it with pride. Our next guest wore number 10 and he wore it with pride, but you'd be pretty pleased to see Nick doing as he's doing. Welcome, Kevin Sheedy.
Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, I think the people from North Gambia Football Club out there where he come from would be pretty happy, but I can assure you I never kicked 4.5.
No. I wasn't going to ask you that. The state of football is looking reasonably healthy, isn't it? When you look at the clash between Adelaide and the West Coast Eagles, this game tonight, and so much coming our way tomorrow, hopefully.
Well, we're naturally expecting a huge game tomorrow, and, you know, when you really look at both these sides here, North Melbourne and Richmond, over the last sort of 5 years have been copying it probably in the head a bit about their support and where are they going and what's happening. And yet here they are out here with 65,000 people. It's fantastic for both clubs.
Well, Richmond have persevered with the same group of young players. Their tackling tonight in particular has just been a feature.
Yes, it has been. It's actually, they've probably topped their club up over the last year or two with some 100 game players, and I think that's what they really needed. So they've recruited quite well there, and, you know, Wigney coming in to play centre-half back and players like that, you know, just add a little bit, Broderick, another 100-game player, and, you know, add that to Knights and Free and those sort of players, and they've got some very good, talented young players out there. They've got that 20 to 30, 40 game mark up, and they're going to be a very dangerous side the way they're playing for 1995.
Tell me, and I'm just going back to your game tomorrow, do you believe in a side having the wood on another team? I mean, if you look at the Collingwood Essendon performances in the past 3 or 4 years, I think it's 7-2 in favour of Collingwood. But when a side gets the wood on another team, what actually happens? Is it mostly in the brain?
Well, we never think about that. We haven't even thought about that, to be quite honest. Not even this week. We're looking at trying to make sure that we get back from what happened last year. Yeah. And we come 10th last year. We never made the finals, and we've got to get back into, you know, playing the best football we can. And I felt that last week, probably against Melbourne, we started when the chips were down, we really fired up and we played very, very well. And come home and probably give us a great deal of confidence for this oncoming game against Collingwood, who only a fortnight ago ran West Coast to a kick.
Yeah, right. You're a man who's promoted change in the game for the better of the game. The thought this week, of course, has been on the...
That's debatable for some people, isn't it?
Has been on the future of, if there is a future, for the out-of-bounds rule, say in between the 250-metre lines. Do you have a theory on it? It's something that's been pushed forward by Mickey Malthouse.
Look, I could understand probably why that would happen, but... Gee whiz, the players are under a fair bit of pressure out there. I mean, we all have worked on the defensive side of our game in regard to chasing, tackling, smothering and so forth. And probably what's happened in the last year or two, you know, the boundary line's become one of your teammates. Yeah, and I think that to actually play a free kick would be a very dangerous thing for the players because, I mean, we're playing the longest game of football as it is. And that would be adding, I think, more stress and strain on the players. And I'm not quite sure whether we're probably, when you're looking at all the other football codes, I think we're probably, you know, 4 quarters, nearly 30 minutes a quarter still, isn't it? And you're getting 2 hours of entertainment. I'm not quite sure whether you penalise them every now and then when the actual, you know, needing that boundary line for some sort of help.
Do you think it should survive as it is at the moment?
Well, I can tell you now, if they bring in a rule, they'll just start dropping the ball outside 50 and the bounce, and John Beckwith kicks will just come back in a la 1955, 1960, where he played lawn bowls with his kicking, that John Beckwith.
Kevin, what about gloves? I mean, Bomber players are using them, be they one, be they two.
I mean, that's a bit difficult, isn't it?
You as a traditionalist?
Never been into handbags and gloves, mate.
I know that.
I'd probably... Personally, I wouldn't have them, but if the players think that they're good for them and they make them perform better and are confident, then we might be heading down that track. I mean, we allowed our players because we wanted to test out whether we thought there was something there. And at the moment, I think the players' answer is really that, look, we're feeling pretty good with them. Let's keep going until maybe the end of the year and we'll see what we think.
Final point, motivation, of course, is a key role in sport and in business. I listened the other day, and I know that you heard him too, the author Bryce Courtney speak, and a marvellous orator. But is it someone like he that inspires you?
Well, I did. I must have heard. I rang up and asked for the tape of the show. I was driving in the car, and I called over, and I just rang up and said, can I get a copy of that interview? Because it was a really good interview about where our country really is going. And, of course, the major part of that, as far as I'm concerned, is that it might be able to be played and inspire some of your players to really appreciate the skill and the ability they've been given. And of course, I mean, the coaches are looking for any sort of angle to make players think about grabbing that opportunity, improving themselves and so forth. And, you know, when a guy like him gets up on I think it was 3AW, was it? Then we naturally go along and try and get everything out of it you can.
Hope it works for you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Well, we'll be trying. Thank you.
Kevin Sheedy, our special guest on Monday Night Football. We'll take a break. More shortly.